Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday, and today we have a very special video. This is a user replay of Funday Sunday, and I found this video while looking through Worlds of Warships replays where you can go and upload your replays if you want to. And this game caught my eye and I thought I would like to show it with you all. Now, before we get started, while our wonderful Belfast captain, Chuwagachuchu, I'm just going to call him Chew, is moving into position, I am going to just announce here that if you do want to send me replays of any fun games that you've had, do send them at hakaymgaming@gmail.com. I will take a look at them and we'll go from there. Hopefully I'll pick out a good game and I will display it on Funday Sunday. But anyway, Chew is currently in his Belfast, and it is a Tier 7 Premium Britain ship, and it's actually a very fun ship to play. I was watching him, and I kind of want to get the ship. Now, like any British cruiser, it's very weak, and it has both the smoke and the radar. Or, sorry, both the smoke and the sonar, but the Belfast actually has the radar as well, so that makes her very unique to the British line, as well as the addition of high explosive, which no other British cruiser does have. Now, looks like Chew is using all premium consumables, which is definitely what I would recommend if you want to do very well when competing against other ships. Now, Chew is currently playing on Fault Line. There's an Independence Nagato, Warspite Atlanta, Belfast, ARP Haguru, Cleveland, Nuremberg, Furitaka, Mahan, Nicholas, and a Minakaze on his team. On the enemy team, there's a Ruho, a Colorado, Fuso, Pensacola, Miyoko, Haguru, Cleveland, Bajani, Omaha, Hatsihar, and two Nikolais. Or Nicholas is probably a better way to say. And I will have to say, I will be taking control of the camera every now and then because he likes to do this a lot, zooming in and out constantly, which is actually a good example of what you should be doing when you're playing World of Warships. You always want to be aware of your situation and your surroundings. Now, he does open fire on this Colorado, who was outside his range, but now his shells are actually just now reaching target. Looks like no actual good damaging hits. Did take out a AA mount, but that's alright. And the Belfast is a very scary ship. I have talked about the Belfast before whenever I was playing in my Fubuki. Against the Belfast, it's not particularly fun whenever you're fighting against them. And the Belfast can really pump out that high explosive. Now, the Belfast has a range of 15.4 kilometers with a detection of 9.9, which is fantastic. Which means he can actually invisifire for, I believe, about 0.9 kilometers, almost a kilometer range, and he can invisifire. Now, the Colorado probably is not taking very kindly to his firing on him, so he returns fire, but the Belfast can easily dodge those shots, so not a big deal. He doesn't even have to worry about those shots coming close. And this Colorado captain, well, we'll keep an eye on him. He's currently backing up, but he's outside range, and now Chew is no longer in detection, and it looks like both the friendly team and the enemy team are currently making their way over to the east-hand side of Fault Line, where this little area is very unique because you have two islands with a channel down the middle with a rather unusual rock sits, and this is going to be kind of important for his team because we do have a friendly Cleveland and a Nicholas moving towards that position, and this is probably really good team play that I've seen in a while, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. So he's currently making his way, and the enemy team, this is just a little bizarre for me, but the enemy team is actually all moving over towards the east-hand side as well. There's no one moving towards the west-hand side at all. So there is the Colorado still backing up. And for everyone that does not know, the Colorado is a slow battleship. Very similar to the New Mexico and her tiers before that. And backing up, you're even slower. So you're a lot easier to hit than if you're just moving at a constant speed. But he finally decides to move and shoot at this Fuso. Hopefully he can get a good hit. Actually, I believe he was aiming for the Omaha. The Omaha is sitting still for some odd reason. Now, this is where I was talking about how this team's actually working fairly well together. The Nicholas has laid down smoke, and the US smoke is really good. It lasts the longest on the water compared to any other nation's smoke. And so this is going to provide both the Cleveland and Chu and his Belfast this smoke screen, and the Nicholas is providing spotting. Now there is a enemy Pensacola, and he's gonna become the favorite target of Chu. Chu does have AP loaded, ready for that Pensacola to show him a broadside, and Chu does get a hit from his friendly Cleveland behind him, and this is where this Pensacola makes the very, very poor decision of start turning broadside, and just watch how quickly this Pensacola's health melts away. Fires another AP salvo, gets another Citadel, causes over 8,360 points of damage, and can Chu get this first kill of the game? There we go, another Citadel and first blood. Very, very nice. Now Cleveland is in range, goes ahead and fires a salvo of AP. Not likely he'll be able to penetrate the Citadel armor on the Cleveland, even though the Cleveland has been altered slightly, so the Citadel is a little bit weaker than it used to be. But Chu has begun backing up, just in case someone decides to run in there, or even possibly have sonar. But fortunately, I think the Pensacola was not the only one. See, Pensacola doesn't have sonar. What am I thinking? So Chu is constantly looking behind him, and there is the smoke starting to dissipate. And so Chu goes ahead and pops his own to provide the friendlies any additional smoke that he can provide. And this is going to be beneficial because it's going to allow their team to kind of stay in that area just for a little bit longer and continually firing on the enemy team while not being seen. And probably at this point he might want to eventually move, because the enemy team has actually moved towards the other side of this island, and it's near impossible for Chu to actually land a hit on any of the enemy team. And this is what I'm talking about. He is constantly checking around, he's constantly looking, and looks like the enemy carrier kind of has a inkling of where they are, because we do see at least a dive bomber, and here is the enemy Bajani. Look at this. Gets 3 Citadels on that enemy Bajani. Can he take out this enemy Bajani? Let's see. Another Citadel. Looks like the shots went a little high, but that enemy Bajani is only sitting at 300 points of health. And there we go. Second kill for Chu. Very, very nice. Now, I don't really understand what made Chu decide to do this, but he starts pulling forward, and you do see that there was some torpedo planes incoming. And watch this. Torpedoes were dropped, but the closest torpedo to Chu was actually hit before arming, so did cause no damage. And I don't really understand why the carrier captain decided to do that, and I don't know if Chu planned on trying to knock out those torpedoes before they actually armed. I think this was just probably more a matter of luck. Maybe I'm just overthinking and giving him more credit than he probably was originally intending. So the teams are actually starting to move. So Chu's team is doing a pretty good job. It looks like they are actually dispersing from the east-hand side and moving a little bit more out west. It looks like 2 cruisers and even a 3rd cruiser way out west is trying to push down towards their base, and it looks like the enemy team is currently holding onto their base. And right now, Chu's team is actually ahead of ships. They're ahead of points, so they're in the lead at this moment. And about 10 minutes have gone by since the match has started. Now Chu is detected, and it more than likely is from a enemy destroyer that did pop up just southwest of Chu, and there he is. Just popped back up on screen, and this is where what I was saying, going a little crazy there. And there is a Hatsuharu, about 7.2 kilometers. Hatsuharu, it's a bit of an iffy ship. It's definitely a lot better than Mutsuki by far, but still an iffy ship. Now, Chu does go ahead and popped his radar to go ahead and detect that Hatsuharu. Now, the radar only has a range of, I believe, about 8.5 kilometers. And fortunately, the Hatsuharu does get beyond that, so no longer is in range. Now, Chu does turn around, and he sees that there is a ARP Haguru that is pushing his way north. And this Haguru is going to be probably regretting this decision, to say the very least. And he is trying to double check, at least Chu. Chu is trying to check on this Fuso, see if he can get some shots in. He has AP loaded, which is a little bit unusual because the Belfast has slightly smaller caliber shells than most normal cruisers, at least at his tier. His first shot goes a little shy of the Fuso. It looks like he fired prior to actually getting a good confirmation on the Fuso's location. His second salvo does hit, but he gets 2 over penetration, 1 ricochet, and 2 broken shells. Now, this ARP Haguru, just watch what happens. This is probably one of the best examples of what not to do when you're pushing north. Now, the ARP Haguru is obviously based on the Miyoko class cruisers that is in the game, but it is scanned to the Arpeggio Blue Steel that is an anime basically about cruisers and battleships of this period. And here's this ARP Haguru coming around broadside. Watch this. 4 citadels. 16,000 points of damage. Brings him nearly to death, and second salvo, 2 citadels, and that is Chu's third kill of the game. And that ARP Haguru captain probably isn't particularly happy about that. Now, things are looking pretty good for Chu's team, and hopefully they can push actually towards the cap. It looks like at least one of the cruisers that was pushing towards the cap did go down to the Colorado and possibly even the Omaha that is all the way south. Now, our friendly Minakaze is gonna have a bad day here just shortly. Now, there is a enemy Miyoko and a enemy Nicholas right there, just popped up. And he's gonna open fire on the friendly Minakaze, and the Minakaze is very, very low on health, and there he goes, just went down to the enemy Nicholas. Now, the teams are fairly even at the moment, but this Nicholas is probably regretting his decision right now. And out pops a Belfast, and he's probably just hating himself right now. Now, Chu went ahead and popped a smoke, but was going a little bit too fast, and smoke is pretty much useless for him. So instead, he also popped his sonar, and pretty much not needed because Chu does take down the enemy Nicholas. And I'm going to take over the camera just for a second because I don't know about you, but he's making me motion sickness. And let's see. Chu is sitting at 4 kills, over 100,000 points of damage, which is fantastic. Now, Chu does see this Miyoko, who is broadside, and he has AP loaded. And let's see how quickly he can take care of this Miyoko. Opens fire and gets a Citadel. Looks like the shells went a little high, but still caused over 8,000 points of damage. And next salvo is out, and Kraken Unleashed. He has taken down 5 ships on the enemy team, sitting at 110,000 points of damage, which is very, very fantastic. I am very impressed right now with the Belfast. Now, the Belfast, like I said, it's a great ship. It's probably what the British line would have been had the British line not been sent back and altered because of the high explosive. So, it looks like the other friendly cruiser that was out west just went down to the enemy Nuremberg, and I have to say, I'm kind of glad they did get rid of the high explosive from the British cruise line, because watch how quickly he does melt away this Colorado. The Colorado is sitting at about 12,000 points of damage, and the enemy Ruho, the enemy CV, does pop up just for a second. And just kind of keep an eye on this Ruho. I think this Ruho is AFK. But anyways, back to the battle. Opens fire on the Colorado, has the fire set, and he switches his attention back over the Hatsuharu. Now this is particularly interesting because the Colorado is kind of more of a major threat than the Hatsuharu, but the Hatsuharu is more of a target that the Belfast is very, very easy to take care of. But Chu gets his 6th kill of the game, and as well Confederate. And this Hatsuharu is probably regretting his life decision. Now, Chu does make a very smart decision. He turns in due to the fact that the Hatsuharu probably has fire torpedoes, and also that the Omaha is firing AP. The Omaha has very high arcing shells and would make it very hard to penetrate the Belfast armor at range like he is. Now, there is the enemy Hatsuharu's torpedoes, and for a second there, I think the Omaha was trying to actually kill the Hatsuharu, which was kind of unusual. Now that is Chu's 7th kill of the game, and Chu's not done. Oh no, Chu is not done. Chu is leading the charge. He has a friendly destroyer in the back, as well as 2 battleships. But if you look up north, the cap is currently being capped by a enemy destroyer. It was the other enemy destroyer on the enemy team. And there's not really anyone around to assist the carrier in taking care of this destroyer. So it's pretty much all up to the carrier. Now the Omaha makes a mistake and he runs aground broadside to the Belfast. Chu predicts that he would start going backwards and gets 3 citadels for his troubles, and pretty much Chu turns away, and there we go, another 3 citadels, and that is Chu's 8th kill of the game. He is sitting at 145,672 points of damage. He has First Blood, Confederate, High Caliber, and Kraken Unleashed. But Chu's not done. Oh no, Chu is not done. Now, the time is actually kind of very crucial. It is sitting at a little under 2 minutes, and the closest ship, or at least the fastest ship that would be able to get back to the friendly base would be the destroyer, and he is running his way back there as quick as he can. And there is the enemy carrier. Like I said, sitting perfectly still, 8.7 kilometers out, and watch how quickly Chu makes short work of this enemy CV. High explosive all the way, and 5,500 points of damage right there. Next salvo gets sets of fire, does a little bit less, but sets of fire. That's very nice, and should be right there. A citadel on the enemy Ruho. Fires another salvo. Let's see how many citadels he gets on this Ruho. That's 2 more, so that makes 3 citadels. And Chu does switch over to AP just to finish off this Ruho. And 2 more citadels, and that is Chu's 9th kill of the game. This is just fantastic. Now, fortunately, that's all Chu has for. There's not much time. There's only about 35 seconds left, and the enemy destroyer moved out of cap, and that's pretty much gonna be it. So Chu did a fantastic job. You can see this earning as almost 1,000,000 silver, 848,617 silver, 7,356 XP, and a whopping 1,085,274 points of damage, 9 kills, 25 citadels, 260 shots fired. He got Confederate First Blood, Kraken, and High Caliber for his efforts, and he did a phenomenal job. So if we take a look at the team list, he earned a base XP of 3,163, which is just phenomenal. Good job, Chu. So as we see the damage total, he did a pretty much quite a bit of damage to every single ship that he killed. The only one that he did very minimal was probably the Colorado, and he took out 3/4 of the team, which is phenomenal. Good job. I'm giving him high praise because this was a very fun battle to actually watch. So since he was running a premium ship, he earned a net profit of 736,147,000 silver, and I'm really impressed by the Belfast. I'm kind of tempted to buy her myself. I don't know, we'll see, but this was phenomenal. Good job. So this is actually going to be it for this video of Funday Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Jin.